Hi, I'm Niall from GulfStream Boat Sales. Here we have a 2008 Galeon Galia 485 Cuddy. This boat's fitted with a Mariner 60 horsepower Bigfoot outboard engine. It's very low hours boat. It's on a European spec trailer. The whole thing's in really nice condition, and it's a stock boat of ours as well, which means it comes with a full warranty. It's prepped to the highest levels. Everything works on it, and you can buy it with complete confidence and peace of mind. We're going to take a detailed look around the boat now. We're going to show you all the features on board. We're going to start the engine. We're going to put it through its paces in the water and just give you a much better idea of the condition that this boat's in and what it can do for you. Hopefully help you to make up your mind whether this might be the boat for you. The Galia 485 is a really popular little boat. We used to be dealers for Galeon for Northern Ireland. Around about the time that this one was made, we didn't sell this one. It was sold originally by the dealer in the south of Ireland. But it's been an Irish boat from new. I think it's like 2 owners, only ever been used in fresh water. It's been very lightly used and it's been really well looked after. The first thing that strikes you about these boats is the design of them and the sort of aesthetic appearance. They really are a striking little boat. They're only 16 foot long, so they're a small boat. They're easy to manage. One person can easily launch and recover this boat and mirror it up and all that sort of stuff. But it looks like a much sort of, it looks like a lot more substantial boat. It has these excellent high rails at the front, stainless steel throughout, top quality stainless steel work. This is done in the factory in Galeon. We've got a little stainless steel anchor roller here as well, stainless steel cleats throughout. We've got these beautiful high level perspex windows in the cabin, curved wraparound windshield on it as well with an aluminium frame. All these sort of features you'll find them throughout the range of Galeon boats. The biggest boat they build now, I think, is something like 96 foot. They're getting up in this huge sort of super yacht territory, and these are made in the same factory. It's the same craftsman making the stainless steel bars for a little Galia 485 as they are on like these Raptor Sundeck ones, these 70 foot triple deck yachts that they build as well. So it's a really high quality of build. These Galeon boats, they were really good value whenever they first came out. But it's really not reflected in the build quality. The build quality is top notch on these boats. Taking a look down along the port side of this one, you can see it's in immaculate condition. The rub rail is perfect, it's all marked. The gel coat both above and below the rub rail is in really good shape. The graphics these are the original graphics on the boat. We didn't have to replace these or anything. They're in completely pristine condition. We've got a little stainless steel scupper here. It's a self-bailing deck, so any water finds its way in, drains out this bailer. There's one on either side. It's in perfect shape as well. The whole thing just looks sort of showroom fresh, really deep shine to the gel, and it's completely unmarked down this side. Being a 2008 model, this Galeon is really up to date. The graphics package were freshened up in 2007, and the high level cockpit windows and stuff, they were given a new treatment too around that sort of same time. So it's really modern looking, really striking looking. This one, it's done virtually nothing. We'll take a look at the engine, show you just exactly how low hours this thing is, but it is a really fresh example, and it could easily pass for a brand new boat. Down along the starboard side here, all the stainless steel works all in perfect shape. The rail's solid and secure. We've got the stainless steel click here again. A couple of very minor scuffs in the rub rail. I mean, they're really, really minor. And apart from that, nothing else. Everything else is in great shape. The gel coat's in beautiful condition. There's lovely shine to it. Again, all the graphics are perfect. Graphics are usually the first thing to sort of get scuffed up and start to flake and peel off. These ones, like I said, these are the original graphics. We haven't had to replace them or anything. They're in perfect condition. This Galeon badge up here is perfect as well. The navigation light, the windscreen surround, everything just looks the part. We freshened up the anti-fouling paint, so we've just given a fresh coat of anti-fouling paint just for a new owner. So that's a brand new coat and it's in perfect condition as well. And just the whole way around this boat, it's in immaculate shape. As I said, this is a stock boat, so that means it's one of our own boats. We bought it in, we own it, and we're selling it on to the owner. People always ask what's the difference between a stock boat versus a brokerage boat. So a brokerage boat is one that we're selling on behalf of a client. But the main difference between these boats is that as a stock boat of our own, we make sure that it's absolutely perfect. We make sure that it is as close to as new condition as we can possibly make it. With a used boat, I don't care whether it's 10 months old or 10 years old, there's always something wrong with it. Every single boat that we ever come across always has something wrong, whether it's a switch that doesn't work, whether it's a gauge that's packed up, whether there's a seat that's torn, or a ding in the gel coat, or something wrong with the engine. Every single solitary boat that we ever come across always has problems. On a brokerage boat, now, there's problems and there's problems. You know, the scale ranges from minor issues to complete basket cases, and we just don't get involved with the basket case boats, no matter what. But with every boat that we come across, there's always a few issues. On brokerage boats, we obviously advise the sellers, the client that we're working for, to like rectify all the issues, do what they can to make sure the boat's as good as new. But the owner is always, they're motivated by the desire to get as much return for their boat as possible. They'll do all the obvious big things that need to be fixed before they'll sell a boat, but quite often they'll let the little things slide. You know, if a gauge doesn't work, they'll not bother about it. If there's a little scratch in the gel, they'll just leave it. And we can't make them invest the money to make the boat perfect. So the difference with our stock boats is that we don't let anything slide. We put these through a super rigorous process in the workshop. We go through an extensive checklist. We find all the problems because we know they're there. Even on a boat like this that's done virtually nothing, there's always something. We had to replace a couple of gauges, we had to fix a bilge pump, we serviced the engine, that type of thing, and we'll do it. We'll do whatever it takes to make the boat as pristine as possible. So it really, you're buying a boat that you know everything you go to touch is going to work, and the thing is going to look immaculate. It's really as close as you're going to get to buying a new boat without investing the money of a new boat. So it allows me to put my hand on my heart and tell you that this is the best example that you're going to find in the used market, because I know just from experience, from being around the business for a number of years, that I haven't found any other dealers or any other boat sellers that are willing to go the extra mile and put the effort into preparing these boats for sale that we do. And we continually get compliments on the fact that it looks like we've got a really clean bunch of boats on our website, and people always ask me, geez, where do you find these boats? You know, they just all look so good. The difference is we don't find them, well, this one was pretty close to this condition, but we don't find them immaculately presented. We actually put the time and effort into making them look that good. So this is one of those stock boats. Everything works. We're offering with a full 3-month warranty. We won't start that warranty until the start of the 2016 season as well. So there's no point in me offering you a warranty if you're going to buy this boat now in October, November, December and park it in the garage for 3 or 4 or 6 months. We'll start the warranty at the beginning of next season, so you have it through the season, and you can buy with complete peace of mind, complete confidence that if anything does go wrong, and used boats have the ability to go wrong, but you know at least if you bought it from us with a warranty, then if anything goes wrong, it'll be covered. Just give us a call and we'll sort it out. So that's the difference between stock boats and brokerage boats, and I think it means a hell of a lot. Whenever you're comparing our boats to other ones on the market, be they brokerage or even stock from other dealers, I mean, genuinely, you will not find one that's presented as well as ours is, and that's as well taken care of and well sorted. So just bear that in mind whenever you are shopping around, please. I've sold a number of these Galia 485s now over the years, and this 60 horsepower Bigfoot engine would be my personal preference if I was going to buy one of these boats for myself. It's an oil-injected 2-stroke motor. It's the Bigfoot version, so it means it has the higher capacity, higher horsepower rating gearbox on it, which means a bigger propeller, higher thrust, so it gets the boat on the plane quicker, keeps the boat on plane down to lower speeds, and also just gives you better thrust for maneuvering the boat around the marina, or if you're just trolling along, fishing out of it. Being a 2-stroke, it's a really broad power band, very torquey motor, so the boat jumps up on the plane quickly. Even if you've got a full load of people on board, 4 or 5 passengers in the boat, it'll still plane, no problem with this motor, and it runs really sweetly as well. You don't have to be caning the life out of it, you don't have to be revving the nuts off it to get it to stay on the plane. This boat will happily plane at sort of a third to half throttle, and it's really pretty fuel efficient at those sort of speeds as well. Some people like to go for this 4-stroke engine. The only reason I prefer this one over a 4-stroke motor is that the 4-stroke motors have a much narrower power band. You really have to get the propping right, and if you overload them or there's a bunch of people on board, or if the bottom of the boat is in the water and it gets a lot of growth and stuff on it, it doesn't take much to knock a 4-stroke motor out of its power band, and then it struggles to get the boat on plane, and you're burning more fuel and all sorts of stuff. And to get similar performance to this 60 out of a 4-stroke, you really got to get up to like a 90 to 100 horsepower motor. And at that stage, really big engine, a lot more weight, and you're starting to lose any fuel saving benefits you might see from the 4-stroke. So that's why I really like this 60 Bigfoot. And this one is in absolutely immaculate condition. It's done virtually nothing. Externally, it's in perfect shape. The paint is factory fresh. The propellers are in really good shape. The skeg is completely unmarked and in beautiful condition. And then if we'll pop the hood off here to let you have a look underneath as well. So taking a look under the cowling, you really start to see how low the hours are on this engine. The paintwork is completely unmarked. All these stickers and everything are pristine. The boat has literally done nothing. I mean, a high hours engine starts, you get a lot of like build up of grease and grime and stuff in the cowling. You get dirt and stuff coming in there just virtually using the thing. This one's like brand spanking new. We haven't cleaned this. This is exactly how this motor came into us. We didn't have to degrease it or clean it down at all. Over on the other side, you see the starter motor there, the ignition modules, starter relay, the oil tank here. Everything is absolutely pristine. And you honestly won't find a cleaner motor than that. The engine has an integrated trim switch on the cover of the motor as well. So it means if you are launching or recovering the boat, say at a beach or something, you can put the boat in the water with the engine trimmed up, just walk to the back of it, trim the engine down before you jump in and head off. So that's a neat feature to have. So you've also got the trim switch obviously on the throttle lever too. You can see we've got a little transducer here for the Garmin Fishfinder. It's all in perfect condition. The hull, the transom back here is immaculately clean. You can see the boat, although it was anti-fouled, I really don't think it spent very much time in the water. It's only ever been using fresh water, but I don't think it was left in the water very much, because this transom pad here, which isn't painted, and also the actual motor bracket itself, which wasn't painted, has no signs of any growth or fouling on there. So if you leave a boat in the water, even for 3 or 4 weeks, you get quite a bit of marine growth, seaweed and stuff, not seaweed, but that grassy stuff growing on the bottom of it. And this one is nothing. Even the anode that's in underneath here is unmarked. These anodes here are like brand new as well. So like I said, I don't think this boat's been left in the water for any period of time I was talking about. Everything back here looks immaculate. We've got our stainless steel fuel fill point here, little plastic cap. So there is an integrated stainless steel fuel tank in the boat. You don't have to go carrying around these little orange cans. It's a proper integrated tank. There's a fuel water separating filter system on there as well. It's the engine fuel filtration system. So and it's all really tidy, solid installation. Over on the port side here then, we've got a little stainless steel folding bathing ladder as well. So there's 3 steps. There's a little bit of molded non-skid decking here, and you can fold this seat back down. So if you're swimming off the boat, or if you're pulling, this thing's powerful enough to pull water toys or kids on skis, stuff like that. So if you're in and out of the water like that, you can climb in and out of the boat over the back of it here, nice and easily. One of the big selling points of this boat, the Galia 485, is its compact dimensions. So as I said, it's just under 16 feet long, and it's around about 6 foot 7 inches wide. So it's small enough to fit in virtually any driveway. It'll fit in most garages as well. If you want to take this boat and use it down at your caravan or at your holiday home or something, you're going to be able to stick it in right behind the caravan, or you're going to slide it down the side of the holiday home on your driveway without any trouble whatsoever. It's on a single axle trailer that's really light and easy to maneuver. You can tow it behind most family cars without any problems, and all that good stuff. But at the same time, it's got a surprising amount of room inside the boat. It's rated to carry 4 adults plus gear. There's seating in here for 4 or 5. You've got 3 kids and 2 adults or whatever, that will work too. We've got these swiveling and height adjustable seats for the helmsman and the passenger. Now get this bench across the transom. All the seats are really nice, high quality items. The upholstery is really good. They're comfortable to sit in. And then we've also got a surprising amount of deck space here too. Everything's molded non-skid, solid fiberglass floor. As I said, the boat's self-bailing, so you can leave it on a mooring or in a marina if you want to, because any water that's going to find its way in will bail overboard. There's an inner hull with an automatic bilge pump in there as well, so if any water finds its way down into the bottom of the bilge, the pump will lift it out. So it's completely safe to live in the water. And it also means it's a very capable little seaboat. It's a good shape to the hull, nice little deep V, cuts through the waves pretty well. I mean, obviously you have to remember it's a 16-foot boat, so you're probably not going to want to go to Scotland or anything in it, but for hopping around the coast, around Ireland or the UK, it's perfect, and for lake use it's ideal. This one spent its entire life in the Shannon system here in Ireland, and it's a great little package. The other big benefit of it is that it has this surprisingly large cuddy cabin that will sit 2 adults. We've got proper sitting headroom, we'll take a look at that in a minute. So if you want to get in out of the rain, make a cup of tea or something, you can do that, and it's an ideal place for kids to get a bit of protection from the elements. And it also means that this big wheelhouse arrangement and the cabin access system here, it gives you great protection from the elements too whenever you're out and underway. In terms of the condition here, it's really like brand new. Everything's perfect. The only very small thing I have to point out here, which we didn't even think was bad enough to warrant doing anything about it, is there's a couple of little nicks out of this helm seat. So whoever was sitting here, I don't know whether it was a buckle on a life belt or something, but there was something was just sort of taking little nicks out of the seat. Now it's not actually through as such, but it's just sort of taking the top surface off this marine grade vinyl. If you're being really fussy, that's, you know, that you pick up on that, but everything else, that is the worst of it that I have to show you. Everything else is in great condition. We've got stainless steel handrail here for the passenger. We've got these little teak inlays on the top of the coamings here on the port and starboard side. They've got these integrated handrails too for the back seat passengers as well. All the cushions and everything are removable on the back seat, so you can pull these cushions out. This center cushion removes completely. So you can remove that completely, seat base and the cushion, and that means that this space opens up, so if you want to fish off the boat, you get a wee bit more deck space for doing that. As I said, this seat back here folds down completely flat as well, so if you need to access the engine for topping up the oil level, or if you're climbing in and out of the water, you can do that too. All the hinges and the bars and everything are in great condition. Underneath this seat on the port side, we've got our battery box, so we've got battery isolator switch in there, and then underneath this one, over on the starboard side, we have a bit of storage, or it could double up as a live well or fish box as well. So the boat's really versatile. You know, it's equally at home being used as a day boat, just for taking the family out, day trips around the coast or up and down the river. If you want to pull water toys, water skis with it, you can within reason. And it's also well set up for fishing too, with the hose down decks, with little storage boxes, and the bit of extra deck space there. It's well set up. You could 2 or 3 people could easily spend a day fishing off this boat. The steering console and cabin roof on this boat are offset to starboard, so that you end up with a little walk around side deck access here on the port side. So we've got this little molded in step here in the cockpit, and then we've got this little walk through. It's probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches wide, and it gives you great access up to the anchor locker at the front of the boat. So there's a great little mooring set up there with an anchor locker, big enough to store 5 or 6 kilogram anchor, plus the little stainless steel roller. It's easy to drop the anchor out in this boat. The helm and passenger seat are fully adjustable for height and for fore and aft, the rake adjustment. And because this one's a freshwater boat, all the mechanisms are working really well, sliding well and all that sort of stuff. There's no corrosion or anything on it. Steering position's really good. I'm sitting down behind the level of the screen, so I can see over the top of the screen pretty good, but it does a really good job of deflecting any wind over the top of my head. I've also got good visibility, obviously, all the way around the boat, out over the side, out the back, if I'm pulling skiers and stuff. The steering wheel itself is sort of high-end Galeon affair, stainless steel centre, wood inserts, and leatherette wrapped. The Mercury throttle and shift levers over here on the I'm falling easily to hand, I'm at right hand. All the controls, as I said, with the boat, if I had to put an estimate on it, I would say it's probably done about 50 hours max, and certainly no more than 50 hours. So it's just by looking at the engine and going by the feel of everything. So the steering is super light, it's all working really well. The engine controls as well are nice and slick, everything feels like new. In terms of instruments, we've got, everything's working here perfectly. We've got a voltmeter, speedo, trim gauge, the tacho, RPM, and also the Galeon integrated fuel tank gauge as well. So full suite of marine instruments. And then we've got our Garmin Fishfinder 90 up here as well. So it's a Fishfinder depth sounder, which is great for if you're fishing, you can use it, but similarly if you're coming into unfamiliar beaches or harbours, you can sort of just tootle along, keep an eye on that, and that will keep you right, make sure you don't run out of water. We've got a little switch panel here for navigation lights, anchor light, there's a pole light in the cabin for the anchor. We've got the instrumentation light, which powers up our fuel gauge here, and we've got a manual activation switch for the bilge pump as well. There is an automatic float on the pump, but if you want it on the pump manually, you can do that here as well. Then we've got a couple of spare switches for any extra bits and pieces of equipment you might want to put on here. The condition of everything here is perfect. As I said, all this stuff's working. The Garmin's working perfectly. Everything is nice and solid and secure, and the whole, the screen, the entry door into the cabin, everything's just pristine. Looks like brand new. And this is a really comfortable steering position. Even if you're out in longer passages on this boat, you don't have to be, straining to see over the top of the screen or anything. You just get a really comfortable seating position with this thing. front of the dash, we have a little recessed storage area for putting phones and bits and pieces, and it's in underneath the screens, stuff like that's going to be kept dry, you know, your wallet, phone and things. And then we've got this smoked, curved acrylic door, which gives access down into the cabin. You can lock the door here, little lock on it, little stainless steel handrail. It's all working perfectly, sliding really freely and stuff. And then there's one step down into the cuddy cabin. This cuddy cabin is another big selling feature of this Galia 485. It's unusual to find a usable cuddy cabin on a boat of this size, you know, anything more than a glorified cupboard. This one though, like I'm sitting in here, I'm sort of standing 5'10" or something. I've got the sitting headroom in here, there's room for at least one other person in here, another adult. So if you are out fishing for the day and the rain comes on and you want to get in to have a cup of tea or something, you can do that. Similarly, if you've got kids, then this is a great space for them to come down into, sit whenever you're underway, you know, heat up and stuff like that. There's a little opening deck light here in the roof. We've got a little, one little light in here. The upholstery, we've got this upholstered backrest around the cushion, which means you can actually sit in here. They're set at a decent sort of height and angle. We've got storage in behind those. Like I said, this is our pole light for, you know, the anchor light. There's also bags of storage underneath the seats. So we've got 3 separate storage compartments in around this this sort of V seating area. And then at night time, if you want to, you can put in this filler cushion. There's a solid wooden panel which is stored here that slots in here, and then you put the filler cushion on top of it, and it makes up a fairly decent little double bed. I mean, it's a bit like camping on the water, but you can, if you want to, you know, nudge the boat into the beach or tie up at a jetty or something and spend the night on board. And it's a, you know, it's a good fun thing to do with the kids. There is also a 12-volt power outlet in here, power socket. So if you want to charge your phone or something like that, you can do that. And like I said, there's plenty of storage and stuff. The condition of everything in here is perfect. Like I said, this boat looks like it's done nothing. I would say the cabin has probably never been used. There's no evidence of any water lying in here. There's no water has been lying underneath any of the storage bins. All the woodwork and everything's perfectly dry and stuff. If the cabin's been damp, you tend to find that the wood starts to warp and things, but the wood is all perfect, and the upholstery as well is nice and dry. There's no mildew or stains or anything on it, and it's all in really lovely condition. One other great thing about this little cabin is that you have these high level windows, so even if you are sitting in here or if the kids are sitting in here, you sort of keep an eye out, just keep an eye on the horizon, and it means you don't find it, it's not very claustrophobic in here, it's very bright and airy, so it's a great little cabin, particularly on a boat of this size. If you are using the cabin on the boat, say the kids are in there, or you want to keep it free for getting in and make a cup of tea or whatever, have a cup of tea, then you've got another great area for storing bulkier items, so fenders and ropes and stuff like that. You can fire them all in here underneath the floor. Again, it just goes to show you the sort of substance of the boat. It's deeper than you would think here. And you've got loads of room behind this fuel tank. So this is the integrated stainless steel fuel tank. I think it's about 80 litres capacity. You can see we've got this little pre-filter arrangement on there as well, so you get any water in the tank, that filter will catch it before it gets to the engine. But there's loads of room for firing fenders, ropes, lines, you know, you name it, there's a ton of space in there. So you can keep the decks clear, and you've got the full use of the rest of the boat. That lock's closed, there's a big seal on it as well, so you shouldn't find any water getting past that seal and into the inner bilge. And we've also got, this boat's got this table mount as well. Now I don't see a table for it, so maybe that was an optional extra that didn't come with the boat, but it wouldn't be too hard. I'm sure we could probably rustle something up if you wanted a table set in there, so you can swivel the seats around. Just let's slam this one forward. So you can rotate the seats around to face the rear bench, stick the table in there, and you could quite happily sit here and have a picnic if you are spending the night on board, or even if you're just out for the day and you want to have lunch. You got that ability to do that as well. The boat is being sold complete with this single axle trailer. So the trailer it's a European built trailer, so it's fully compliant with all European and UK specifications, so it's completely road legal. The condition of it, it's only ever been in and out of fresh water and not very often at that, so the condition of it is like brand new. The wheel bearings are perfect. I personally towed the boat up from where we bought it about 70 miles away or something. Not an issue with it at all. The winch, like you can see the winch like brand new, the hitch is like brand new, the whole thing's in super condition. Comes complete with a tailboard as well, it's working well also. The whole bottom is in perfect shape. As you can see, we've freshened up the anti-fouling paint. We will give it another coat of anti-fouling paint before it's launched for the new owner, because this stuff deactivates, so you have to launch the boat within about a month or so of putting on the paint. So we'll freshen it up with a fresh coat just before it goes in the water for the next owner as well. And another thing that's included with the boat, which I'll get some pictures of and get those on the website, but it comes with a full custom cover as well. So the cover goes the whole way over the boat. It's like a mooring cover, or if you're keeping the boat outside over the winter, it's a great thing to have because it comes right down. You see the button poppers here, down at the rub rail. So it goes right the way down to the rub rail, covers all the gel coat, covers the entire cockpit, and it means that you keep this nice shine to the gel. It's more than just your standard cockpit cover. So that's included with the boat as well. I think that one of the previous owners had that made and it cost us something like €2,000, so it's quite the cover. It's really good cover, and it's in perfect condition as well. So that's all included with the package too. So this thing's ready just to go to the water. So there you have it. That's our 2008 Galeon Galia 485 with Mariner 60 horsepower Bigfoot outboard. Hopefully you'll agree that the boat is in fantastic condition. It really is like brand new. I'm guessing it has around 50 hours on the clock. The engine looks like new. Under the hood is completely unmolested. The whole boat is in phenomenal condition. It goes really good as well with that 60 Bigfoot engine. If you're looking for something that's going to be a handy day boat to use, something that you can launch and recover on and off the trailer with single-handed, with no big deal, and something you can maneuver around the house, park it down the side of the driveway, and just generally have something that's sort of low maintenance, then this Galia 485 could be ideal for that. No matter what you want to use the boat for, whether it's just a little day tripper or for pulling water toys and stuff, or for fishing off, the boat will happily do all three. And even if you want to spend the odd night on board, a little bit of sort of like camping on the water, it'll even do that too with that the huge big cuddy that it has for a 60-foot boat. So, like I said, because this is one of our own stock boats and it's been sold with full warranty to start from the beginning of the 2016 season, I don't think you'll find a better one, and I think it represents fantastic value for money. Hopefully you do as well. If you like the boat, if you want to come and have a look at it, or if you've got any questions about it, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Just give me a call, or you can fill out the callback request form on this page of the website, and I'll call you at a time that's convenient, or drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching.